use technology like that and a new propulsion system to perhaps explore farther out, because really Mars will just be a stepping stone to moving out into the solar system. Can you click on that link? I'm just curious to know if it'll play. The Mars Society has been in many, many films, some that have been made of us. Did that work? No? If not, I can probably play but to be honest with you, if I play the videos, they're going to take longer than they should. That's okay. I can move forward without it. Yeah. So this video just showed kind of early on, Dr. Robert Zimmerman is basically talking about why we should go to Mars and making our home on Mars. So this is some of the things that we do as projects. We do University Rover Challenge, and actually we have the winning team here visiting us now, and you'll meet them tomorrow at the banquet. It's an international competition. We had, the picture on the right is actually Poland's rover. They had it shipped all the way over to Utah. They unfortunately did not win, but they were so inspired that they are now starting a University Rover Challenge in Europe for the Mars Society. So they're really, Poland is really actually embracing Mars because of how much they think that it's going to start a new industry, supporting space commerce, and so they're really looking in those sorts of areas of business and space, and inspiring that technology in their students in the university. So the University Rover Challenge takes place at MDRS. The challenge changes every year. Students are told to spend so much money, and they come out and see, which team's rover, met all the requirements. And here's another project that we've been doing. It's called TEMPO-3. Stands for Tethered Experiment for Mars Interplanetary Operations. It's using CubeSat, and most. This idea isn't new, but people mostly test the tether system. How long will it last? But what we really want to test is, we want to demonstrate artificial gravity generation using two tethered masses. So can we? And I think they were going to put some sort of receiver in there to see if we can, what it would be like, or
yeah,
do you want to?
Yeah, the plan as it stands right now is if we can fit it all in, it's with a little camera in there, and also some transmitters, so we can transmit any data that we collect from it, about the spin rate and things like that, and deployment of the tether. I'm actually part of the team that's working on it. Yeah. But it's been a very slow process because of funding. We launched this just as the stock market collapsed 2 years ago.
Yeah. So as far as I know, this idea, as far as is it possible to generate artificial gravity, hasn't been done.
Well,
so.
we did a balloon test. We did a balloon drop as well.
That was as part of this.
Yes.
That was as part of this experiment.
Yeah.
Thank you. This is Archimedes project. It's done by our Germany chapter. And they actually did also do, but they wanted to see if they could inflate a balloon in space. And they worked with another group to actually launch it out into space, which they did. And I may have had video of this as well, of it. It did inflate in space, so it was a very successful project. Some of our global outreach effort, you can get a free copy of the TMQ, the Mars Quarterly, in the Trade Winds Pavilion right now. We put it out quarterly. We've had interviews with Elon Musk. I think we've had Mike Griffin as well. I think we're planning on having Carolyn Porco, and of course the new CEO of Virgin Galactic, George Whitesides. We also have a Humans to Mars petition. So we want to get as many signatures as we can to let our current administration know that we want to send humans to Mars. So we have this website as well. We have a Facebook page as well for the Mars Society, for humanstomars.org, and we would appreciate it if we can, get more support to show that Mars is a really a serious issue. Like I said, I've been involved with this since 2002, and it's really changed the way people look at Mars, especially since 2004, when Spirit and Opportunity landed on Mars. And Mars has gotten much more attention since then. Okay, some final words. Unfortunately, this was from Chris McKay. on why we should terraform Mars. He's not here this year, which may have been his first year, but he is an astrobiologist for NASA. He was also one of the young students who found the Mars Underground, which eventually became the Mars Society. And he thinks, I think in this video, if I remember correctly, he made a comment about that life is so beautiful here on Earth, it would be a really unfortunate thing if we didn't spread it throughout the universe. And I don't know if we can play that. So this is why I think we go to Mars, is for the knowledge of Mars, for the knowledge that we can learn about Earth in comparison, for the challenge to inspire our youth, for our humanity and our prosperity, and for our future. And then this is my contact information. But I'd like to really show the videos, and they're on this stick, I think. How loud can it get? This was done by the BBC, and they interviewed Robert Zubrin.
This is the story of how the sun will one day become our... If we are to survive, we'll have to leave the Earth. We'll need to seek out new homes in amazing new places. And change other worlds to recreate the Earth we left behind. In the far future, our sun will become a monster. It will burn all life from our planet, destroy entire worlds. And finally, our sun will even destroy itself. It's going to happen. One day our sun will die, and when it does, we'll go with it. It's time to think about the future.
That is, yes, Sam Neill. I think I can actually fast forward it with it. Oh, thank you.
Life on Earth possible. But that will change.
I'm just going to fast forward this to the part
Slowly, I'll stop.
I can.
By the time it's 5 to...
It's basically talking about our Earth not being around. It's quite dramatic.
Believes he has the answer.
There we go.
What will happen to us then? Astronomical engineer Robert Zubrin believes he has the answer. He wants to find us a new place to live.
The only real choice that we have is to grow, expand, become a spacefaring civilization, or to become extinct. Not only would we become extinct, but unless we become spacefaring civilization and bring Earth life out with us into the universe, all life on Earth will become extinct.
What Zubrin's goal is to make us home on Mars. Today, Mars is cold and lifeless. Temperatures regularly drop to 100 below freezing, and its atmosphere is 200 times thinner than our own. A person standing unprotected on the surface of Mars would be dead in seconds. Yet some scientists believe we could still learn to call this home.
Mars is the only other planet in our solar system that has on it the resources needed to support life. It has water. It's frozen to the surface as ice and permafrost, but it's there. It's got carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. It's got nitrogen in the atmosphere. And if humans go to Mars and develop the craft of how to use these resources, then we can make Mars a place where human beings can sustain themselves. We can make a new world for our posterity. No species can expect to last long if it stays in the same place. In a very real sense, humans are not native to the Earth. We're not native to North America. We're not even native to Europe. We're native to Kenya. That's why we're tropical animals with long, thin arms, no fur. But humans were able to leave there and colonize there by becoming creative. Man the inventor. That's how we cope with Ice Age Europe, and that's how we're going to cope with Mars and the planets coming.
In a remote health camp, researchers have already been preparing for life as pioneers on Mars. Living in the space pod did prove difficult, but they coped. Zubrin is optimistic.
We're ready to take us on. And frankly, if we shrink from this challenge, what it would really mean is that we have become much less than the kind of people we once were. We are much better prepared today to send humans to Mars than we were to send people to the moon in 1961 when John F. Kennedy started the Apollo program.
I believe that this nation should commit itself to achieving the goal of landing a man on the moon and returning him safely to the Earth.
We were there 8 years later. There is nothing in this that is beyond our technology. It's just a question of showing a little bit of moxie.
For it's not the technology that's lacking, it's the will. But technology and willpower alone may not be enough.
Okay, I'd like to show the other one. Should I just click on this? Okay. The other one is a movie called Mars Underground. That's really about, and I just chose one segment, sorry, just a little bit.
How to learn to become self-sufficient.
That was it?
To be able to survive on Mars without supplies constantly being sent from Earth.
Is that it?
But unlike any other planet in the solar system, besides Earth, Mars has all of the fundamentals needed to make this possible. Its 24-hour, 37-minute day is critical for growing plants. It has all of the elements necessary for creating building materials like plastics, metals, and glass. And it has oceans of water frozen into the soil. Eventually, with a lot of ingenuity and invention, scientists will learn to live off the land. They will grow crops in the iron-rich but potassium-poor soil. And they will produce oxygen and energy from the water and atmosphere. With time, more and more people will arrive. These won't only be scientists, but settlers, people who plan to stay. They may come for all kinds of reasons, political, religious, economic. But to them, Mars will be a chance to start over, to build a new life for themselves.
Mars is not going to be a utopia. Mars is going to be a lab. It's an open frontier. It's a place where things are going to be tried out. I think we'll see a lot of noble experiments on Mars.
The ultimate dream of the Martians will be to terraform their planet, to make Mars as hospitable as Earth. This may not be as big a fantasy as it seems. With daytime temperatures in the Martian tropical zone averaging around 0 degrees centigrade, and with an atmosphere only 1% as thick as Earth's, exposure to these elements by a human without a spacesuit would be instantly fatal. The first step to terraforming Mars and bringing it back to life will be for the Martian colonists to warm up their planet.
But we know how to warm up planets. We're doing it on Earth. We're putting gases in the atmosphere. On Earth, it's not a good idea to warm up the planet. The temperature is just fine. In fact, you don't need it any warmer here. But in principle, if you could trap the sunlight reaching Mars today, every single photon that's hitting Mars, Mars would warm up in about 10 years. Well, obviously you can't trap every single photon that's hitting Mars, but you can trap about 10% of them with the greenhouse effect. So that would imply that Mars could warm up in about 100 years. Well, 100 years